week 2 of Pilates at home. For today's workout, you will only need the sliders and you will need a resistance loop. I have this resistance loop tied to the leg of my reformer here, and I recommend you tie it to like the leg of your couch or anything that you have that you can securely tie it, because you're going to be putting a lot of tension on it. I'm using the lightest resistance band here, and you'll see why once we get to that. But if you don't have a couch where you can do this, or you don't have the resistance band, you can use one free weight for the workouts we're doing, and you can also elevate this by using the arm weights. Focus for this week is obliques and core. So while we're still working arms, legs, all those things, it's a lot of unilateral work to really focus on the obliques, and we're really trying to strengthen that core and challenge that core. So that's the focus for this week. So whether you're using the resistance loop or a free weight, or if you don't have either, you can use body weight, but I do recommend using these to just add a little bit of resistance. The first move is going to be gliders. These are going to be similar to what we did last week, but we're going to start out with our hands on the sliders, and we're going to start in a tabletop position. So knees under hips and shoulders over wrists, and we're just starting off with a cat-cow. So we're going to do a few of these. Okay, getting into the first move, everything we do today is going to be 3 sets of 10, pulses in between each set, and try to do the whole thing through without taking super long breaks or pauses. So for the first move, we're doing a glider. So we warmed up our back. You are going to get in a modified plank position. 2 options for your feet here. So your knees are going to be together, toes together, pointed, toes are pointed, and so feet are not flexed like this, feet are pointed. You can also drop your legs to the ground. This is going to make it a little bit harder. I'm going to say like this. We are going to do 3 sets of 10 here. You're going to press your hands out and then slowly drag one hand back at a time. That's 1, you're doing 10. You can also drag both hands at the same time if you have a super strong core. I don't, so I'm doing it like this. Okay, so very similar to what we did last week, regular lunge, except for it's going into a side lunge. So your foot that's not on the slider is going to stay on the ground. Your foot that's on the slider, so all 10 toes are forward, 1 foot on the slider, and this leg, the foot that's on the slider, that leg is going to stay straight, going to a side lunge. So bend the leg that's on the ground into a side lunge, and then come back up. When you come back up, you're pressing through the leg that's on the ground, the foot that's on the ground. God, I can't talk today. So 10 here. And then pulses at the bottom are going to look like this. So you're just pulsing up and down a little bit. 3 sets of 10 here. On your 3rd set, you're going to stay down, and then you're going to keep this knee bent, and you're going to start to drag the knee in and out. So for a side scooter, for whatever foot is on the slider. pulses here. You're just going to kick it out, little tiny pulses. We're doing 3 sets there. Now if you need to take a break here, stand up, shake it out a little bit. For the next one, you're going to be sliding open and closed as if you're on the reformer going over the springs. So to set up for this move, act like we didn't take that break. So this foot was going in and out. Now this time, you're going to, let me think of how to explain this on the ground. So so both knees are going to stay bent here, and you're sliding open like you're doing a wide squat, and then dragging your knees back together. Don't go any closer than hip distance apart here. So you're opening and closing to hip distance. And I'm also keeping my ankle elevated here on the slider. Some inner thigh work here too. Awesome. So for the oblique series, you're going to place your hands underneath your shoulders. We're kind of getting into a plank position, except for both feet are going to be on that slider, and your feet are going to be crossed over your ankles. Holding that plank position, you're going to drag your knees toward your elbows, and then push back out. It's like a oblique bear crawl. And then you're just going to hold a plank for 30 seconds. Giving our wrist a break, we're going into that side lunge series on the opposite side. So all 10 toes forward, foot that's on the slider, ankle is lifted. You're going to sink into a side lunge. Your opposite leg on the slider stays straight. You're going to bend into that lunge and then press up through that ankle to go into those side lunges. Pulses. And then staying low, we're going to drag that knee in. Those hip openers, so sliding open and close. Remember, you're doing 3 sets of each move here, so if you need to stand up and shake it out on that standing leg, go for it. Done. Side plank oblique series on the other side. So again, getting into that lunge or getting into that plank position, and then crossing one foot over the other. Notice your hips are going to stay facing forward. That's how you're going to engage that oblique, and then drag your knees in and out. news is now we get to lay down. I'm just going to start off on this side. The other side I'll have to turn around just because of how this is positioned here. I'm hoping you can see that. Okay, I just did a little bit so you can really see what I'm talking about here. But the resistance band is just tied in a little knot here around the leg of my reformer. Again, you can use a couch for this. That would be perfect. If you don't have the resistance loop, again, use a free weight. And then I am going to go ahead and use these wrist. I am going to go ahead and use the ankle and wrist weights here. So we're going to be doing everything on the left side first, or whichever side you want to start with. So I'm going ahead and loading up my ankle and my wrist with these little 1 pound weights. Okay, 2 options here. You can either stay in like a modified side plank with your core lifted, or you can lay down on the ground on your side like this and place your head on your bottom hand. I'm going to go ahead and do this way because I'm doing this workout a couple times this week. Okay, so here, even if you're laying down, your core is engaged, so try to keep a little space between the floor and your waist. And then you can do that by thinking about keeping your hips stacked one on the other, so you're not sinking into the floor. You'll see how my hip here is not in line. My left hip, my top hip, is not in line with my lower hip. So if I keep those 2 hips in line, knees in line, ankles in line, everything in line, my core is engaged here. So from here, we're taking the strap. I have the knot piece on the back side of the leg. We're going to lift our hand up, and we are going to, keeping our arms straight, slowly pull the strap down and release it back up. Now, I have the lightest resistance band possible here, because even with the light one, I have a lot of resistance. The key here is, because you're working with this resistance loop, it's going to want to pull you back, right? So the control here is not letting that loop pull your hand back. You're resisting the pull to slowly bring your hand up to the ceiling. You have 4 more. Same thing, keeping your hand straight, arm down at the wrist. Ooh, that weight adds quite a bit extra. Okay, hand straight down by your waist, palm facing back. You're going to bring your hand forward in front of you and then push it back. Try to keep your wrist and your elbow straight there. Man, if you're just doing it with just the wrist weight, it's good. Okay, I had to take that off for the last piece because that adds a lot. Okay, for the last one, you're going to bend your elbow. And then instead of going straight arm up and down, your elbow's going to be bent, hand facing toward your feet, and then you're just pressing the resistance band down and coming back up. So 3 sets of 10 here. Okay, giving our arms a little break there. Just get back a little bit so you can really see. Okay, going into the leg series, that band is on the arch of your foot. Your bottom knee is bent, hips are stacked. Straightening out that left leg, you're going to do 10 marches. No, okay. I don't know. Okay. This time, legs stay straight. You're going to swing your foot to the front. So pointing your toes, swinging your leg forward, flexing your toes, bringing your leg back. So 10 here. Into the next move for our core, your feet are going to be on the sliders and you're getting into a plank position. So hands directly under your shoulders, both feet on the sliders behind you, going into a plank, and we're doing mountain climbers here. So you're going to slowly drag one knee forward, push it back, forward, push it back. Hold a plank for 30. On this side, I'm just going to show you the side lying arms and legs using just the wrist and the ankle weight, and then a free weight for the arms. This is just to show you what it will look like if you don't have the resistance loop. So laying down on the opposite side. Hips are stacked, a little bit of space underneath that other side. Grabbing onto your weight, and we're going lowering the hand down, and coming back up. So there's one. Again, keeping your arms straight, turning your wrist toward the back, and you're dragging that hand forward and backward. Keeping that arm straight. Last move here, bending that arm, your palm is facing toward your foot, and you are going to straighten out that arm and then bend it back, keeping that wrist facing toward your foot. So, 1, and you're done with arms. I'll go ahead and take off this wrist weight, and then going into that final leg series. So same thing, restack those hips, keep your core engaged, lifting up that top leg. We've got the ankle weight there, and you're going to bend and extend that knee. Again, keeping your knees hip distance apart the whole time. So that's the challenge here if you don't have the resistance loop, is keeping that leg level and keeping it in line with your hip. And then we have pulses kicking back. Turning your toes to the ceiling, pointing, lifting up, and then flexing your foot, dragging it down. So the key here without that loop is, again, not letting your foot like sway forward or come back. Try to keep it in that same plane as you go up and down here. So that's 5. And then last thing is going to be dragging that foot forward and backward. So same thing, pointing on the way forward, or I barely cleared that forward, and flexing on the way back. Again, trying to keep that leg in the same plane, so not letting it drift up or drop down. You're done. My explanations today were not the greatest. I could feel that. So please let me know if you have any questions, and try to watch what I'm doing and read through the full description that I send on the workout. Again, I'm working on making these videos a little bit better as I get more time and as I get used to the flow of things. But thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this workout, and I'll see you for the next one.